as he was named the All-Star Game MVP this past Sunday in the yellow team's victory over the blue team by a score of 6-5.
And with Jacob Huey on the mound, we are sure Pops is watching at home. I was talking to Huey during BP last night in Anchorage against the Pilots, and he said his dad was absolutely stoked that he won the MVP of the All-Star Game.
Well, there you have it. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And this one's going to be popped up into foul territory. Jake Scudder, the first baseman, will be coming in to make the grab to retire Watson for the first out of the ballgame.
Now batting right fielder number 3, Dalton Hurd.
So this brings up Dalton Hurd. Hurd leading the team in batting average, hitting .319. 3 doubles, 1 home run, 8 RBIs. And on the first pitch, he sends this one up in the air as Levi Jordan, the second baseman, will settle under it for the second out of the inning, retiring Dalton Hurd.
Now batting the DH number 15, Tyler Walters.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the Pilots be a little bit more patient here at the plate. I believe it's 6 pitches that Huey's thrown so far. And on the first pitch, Tyler Walters sends us back to the backstop. Walters is today's DH. This season, Walters hitting .190, 4 doubles, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. Home runs and RBIs do lead the team. So a 1-1 count here on Tyler Walters. 1-1 from Huey. Swung on and missed. Count out 1-2. The defensive alignment for the Miners is like this. Garrison Shorts in left, Brooks Soller in center, and Cam Montgomery in right field. Angelo Armento over at third, Josh Bissonette at short, Levi Jordan at second base, and Jake Scudder manning the hot corner over at first base, and Zach Sharpley doing the catching here today as the 1-2 misses down low into the dirt. Now a 2-2 count. For the Miners this season, the first team to reach the 20 wins column, as they are 20-12. Currently sitting in first place, a 2.5 game lead over the Peninsula Oilers. The Miners and the Oilers are the only teams in the ABL with winning records. And the 3-2 pitch swung on and missed. Jacob Huey with a strikeout here to end the top half of the first inning. So no score here at Herman Brothers Field. We will head now to the bottom half of the first inning. Game tied on your Matthew Miners Radio Network. Welcome back to Herman Brothers Field. As Matthew Miners will be coming to bat here on your Matthew Miners Radio Network. Here's their starting lineup. Josh Bissonette leading things off, playing shortstop. Levi Jordan will bat behind him, playing second base. Jake Scudder batting third. He will be playing first. Michael Donadio DHing, batting cleanup. Garrison Shorts batting fifth, playing left field. Angelo Armenta playing third base and batting fifth. Cam Montgomery in right field will bat right behind him. Zach Sharpley batting eighth, that is. He will be doing the catching. And Brooks Stotler rounding up the order, playing center field. He is batting ninth. And on the mound for the Pilots is going to be Cole McKay. This is his seventh start of the year, and he's had a kind of rough start. He's 0-2 with a 6.51 ERA. His last time out was against the Miners. I'll give you the stat line from that game. As Josh Bissonette steps foot into the batter's box here to begin the bottom half of the first for the Miners, and the first pitch misses outside, ball one. But I mentioned Cole McKay from Louisiana State University. His last start was against the Miners on July 15th. That was the Scout Showcase, in which he went 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 5 earned runs, walked a couple guys, and struck out a couple guys as well. Josh Bissonette ahead in the count 2-0 early on. Here comes the delivery from McKay. The 2-0 misses high and away, 3-0 now. Glacier Pilots 16-18 on the year. And my broadcast partner Dan Collins was mentioning that the Miners beat up on the Pilots and the Chinooks so far this season. That's a huge reason why the team is in first place by 2.5 games. So 3-0 catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. Tim Davis calling the balls and strikes here today. Over at first base, and Marcus Stolen, and at third is James Taylor. So here comes the 3-1 from Cole McKay. And this is going to be swung on, popped up into shallow left field. And it's going to be the shortstop, Kyle Watson, who settles under it to retire Josh Bissonette for the first out here in the bottom of the first.
Now batting your second baseman, number 1, Levi Jordan.
So Levi Jordan is the next man up for the Miners. And the first pitch to Levi, taking inside ball one, or taking inside for a strike. Levi Jordan coming into this game 5th in the league in batting average, hitting .302 on the year. The 0-1 from McKay. Catches the outside part of the plate, strike 2 now. A good day here for baseball at Herman Brothers Field, and the 0-2 pitch misses outside ball 1. It's a little bit more chilly than what it has been in recent weeks here at Herman Brothers Field. Currently 66 degrees and cloudy. And here comes the 1-2 to Levi Jordan. Breaking ball just misses outside to even up the count at 2-2. So here comes the 2-2 from McKay, and it's going to be swung on, hit foul. The Bucks and Oilers are in action again here tonight. The Chinooks have their second day off. I mean, it has been a while since they've had a day off. It's a 2-2, misses inside ball 3 now to Levi Jordan. We were talking to the Chinooks broadcaster, Lance Morris, and that team was ready for a day off. And, after you lose 6 straight games, you have to have a day off to kind of regroup. But McKay with a 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. This is going to be hit into the hole. Watson gloves and throws. He's unable to get Levi Jordan. It's going to be an infield single for Levi. So the first hit of the ball game.
Your first baseman, number 22, Jake Scudder.
And Jake Scudder is going to be the next man up at the plate. Scudder second in the league in RBIs. He is 21. That's 2 behind the league lead. Steven Sensley holding that accolade right now. He has 23. So Scudder starts off the count 0-1. Levi Jordan over at first base. 1 out here. McKay's 0-1 pitch. It's taken up high. Evens up the count. The Miners this evening, coached by skipper Ben Taylor, pitching coach Matt Greeley, and assistant coach Joe Perez. And for the Pilots, it's going to be skipper Darren Westergaard, assistant coach Stu Peterson, Marcus Pointer, and Cordell Hippolito. And the 1-1 is going to be swung on, hit to right field. And this one will be foul. Perhaps Scudder a little ahead of the count there. Put a nice swing on it, however, but it does fall just foul. Mentioned the Miners have won their last 6 conference games that dated back to July 11th. And that's was against the Pilots. So the 1-2 runner goes. This one's going to be hit into right field, and that's going to get down as Dalton Hurd tried to dive for that one, but since Levi Jordan was on the pitch, he kind of had to hold up in between first and second since he didn't really know if that ball would get down or not, but it does, and he's able to reach third base on that single by Jake Scudder, and now Michael Donadio will be the next man up to the plate.
So with runners on the corners here with 1 out for the Miners, this would be the 3rd game in a row if they could get a runner in that they have scored in the first inning, always drawing first blood right away. So this is nothing new. As soon as these boys come out the gates, they come out swinging and swinging well.
So here comes the first pitch to Donadio, taken outside. Donadio ahead in the count 1-0. Runners on the corners with 1 out here for the Matsu Miners. McKay sets. And the delivery. The 1-0 swung on, hit into left center field. That's going to get down. The Miners are going to play from in front here today. Scudder rounding second. He will head for third. And sliding into second base with a 1-out RBI double is Michael Donadio.
And I'm sure that makes his parents proud who are in attendance at Herman Brothers Field tonight watching their boy Mikey swing the bat. He's manning the DH role in the cleanup spot for the Miners. And what does he do for Mon Pa? Well, his first time up, he hits an RBI double. Attaboy, Donadio.
So 3 hits, all back to back. All of them being singles. Levi Jordan playing the first run of the ball game. Miners currently leading 1-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning with only 1 out. So Garrison Shorts is the next man up to the plate.
And we look already, the Pilots infield playing in. We see that a lot against the Miners lately. A lot of teams playing in don't want to give up more than a couple runs to this Miners team, because if they do, they have the pitching that will just shut you down. They only need a couple runs of run support, and this ball game could possibly be over.
So the infield is in, and the 1-0 from Shorts is going to be swung on, hit to right. This should be deep enough to score Scudder from third. So he makes the grab that is heard, and everybody advances one base. So the Miners now leading 2-0 after the sac fly by Garrison Shorts. Miners leading 2-0.
Now batting your third baseman number 4, Angelo Armenta.
So Angelo Armenta, the next man at the plate. Armenta playing third base here today. As this one gets past the catcher, Ritter, and plating the third run of the game is Michael Donadio. And the Miners now with a 3-0 lead. So now that forces the infield to go all the way back. Now all the bases are cleared. And not a really good start for the Pilots in this one. So it's a pass ball charged to Luke Ritter, the catcher, and the 1-0 to Armenta. Taking inside ball 2 now. Angelo Armenta hitting .217 on the air. 3 doubles, no homers, but 7 RBIs. Armenta, this will be his 15th game played in the 2-0 pitch, taking down low ball 3. We mentioned McKay had troubles last time out. It was against the Miners, giving up 5 runs in 2 innings. That was during the Scout Showcase, however. But Armenta currently with a 3-0 count. Here comes the pitch from McKay. As this one catches the inside part of the plate for a strike. It's Orr in left, Kiersey Jr. in center, and Hurd in right. Gerstenmeyer at third, Watson at short, Kinnaman at second, Eichhoff over at first. Luke Ritter behind the plate. Here comes the windup and the pitch. The 3-1 is going to be swung on, hit to second. Duke Kinnaman throws on over to first, and the inning is finally over. But the Miners playing from in front here today. 3 runs, a single by Levi Jordan, Jake Scudder, and then the double by Michael Donadio, giving the Miners their first lead of the ball game. They lead 3-0 when we come back on your Matthew Miners Radio Network. Miners leading 3-0. Duke Kinnaman leading things off here in the top half of the second inning for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And the first pitch from Huey taken for a strike. We saw the Pilots have the infield in after the first run of the game was scored. The Pilots know if they fall behind, and by a decent amount, they're going to struggle as this is hit to first base as it gets off of Jake Scudder, but the runner's going to be heading for second. Montgomery's throw, not in time. A close play over at second base as Kinnaman wanted to extend that at bat and move on over to second base, but called safe by James Taylor. And it's going to be an E3 on Jake Scudder.
Now batting, first baseman number 4, Nate Eichhoff.
So a tough error. It was kind of obvious. A pickoff attempt, and he dives back safely, but that was a close play. Jacob Huey with a grin on his face. It's not a tough error because it definitely looked like an error, but it's tough because the runner reaches second base. A sure out, but he reaches second base, and the first pitch to Nate Eichhoff is going to be swung on, fouled out of play. So a couple errors charged to Jake Scudder in the last few games. The other one,
Really bad break.
he really couldn't help that. The ball literally went right through his glove.
Yeah, that's about as bad of a break as you could get as a fielder when the ball literally goes through your glove. There's no other way to score it than an error. However, it's just because there was a big old hole in your glove, so that's one of those hang with 'ems defensively.
So here comes the 0-1 from Jacob Huey. Swung on and missed. 0-2 the count now on Nate Eichhoff. But a runner on second base. Nobody out. Left fielder Nick Orr waits on deck. So the 0-2 from Huey is going to be swung on, fouled out of play. The dimensions are 322 to left, 342 to left center, 390 to dead center, 345 to right center field, and 322 to right field. Not much wind flow here today, so the wind will not necessarily be helping, but it won't be hurting anybody either, as this is going to be popped up into shallow left field. It's going to be Garrison Shorts, the left fielder, who makes the grab.
Now batting, left fielder number 23, Nick Orr.
So left fielder Nick Orr, and this is a guy who was catching yesterday, and he had a really rough day. He had a couple pass balls charged to him. And not just pass balls. These were a couple runs on pass balls, keep in mind.
Yeah, and you look at the lineup today, and I'm going to have to double check. It was Nick Orr, the catcher last night. Tonight, Luke Ritter, and neither of those two are their typical everyday or secondary catchers. So I don't know if it's injuries to Tyrus Green and Tyler Walters. Walters doing the designated hitting tonight, so I wonder if perhaps there might be some kind of an injury to Green and Walters for some reason unable to play catcher because he's doing the designated hitting, and back-to-back nights, not your ordinary catchers doing the catching behind the plate for the Pilots. So just a little speculation up here in the booth.
The 1-0 swung on and missed, and you have to think that there is some kind of injury to Tyler Walters, who is DHing here today. The Miners actually faced that situation earlier this season before sending home Josh Roulette. He was a catcher, but he kind of was playing through his injury a little bit.
Yeah, similar situation for the Miners. That's why they had Tyler Wyatt doing the catching for a while. So if I had to bet any kind of casino chips on it, I would imagine the Pilots are in a similar situation and opting to not go with Nick Orr this time around as a catcher. He had a really bad day behind the plate defensively, and that's probably why.
And a pickoff attempt over at second, and he's able to get Duke Kinnaman leading. Man, Duke Kinnaman, he's had to work over there on the base pass, almost thrown out on that E3 by Cam Montgomery in right field. And 3 close pickoff attempts. The first 2 being ruled safe, and the third one getting picked off at second base. Wow. And this is going to be ripped down the right field line, but foul. It's pretty clear that Duke Kinnaman obviously couldn't read Jacob Huey in his pickoff move. I don't know if it was just that good or if he's just that poor of picking up that pickoff attempt, but nonetheless, it is a solid pickoff attempt by Jacob Huey. And just like that, there are 2 outs here in the inning. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on, hit deep to right field. This one is foul.
As a left-handed pitcher, Huey naturally has a pretty solid pickoff move to first. And what he was showing over there at second, it was hard for Duke Kinnaman to pick up, but it was a pretty solid move there by Huey.
Again, here comes the 1-2. Swung on and missed. It gets away from catcher Zach Sharpley. He'll have to throw it on over to first, and Scudder unable to pick up that throw on the drop third strike. So Jack Gerstenmaier, the next batter. And we have seen quite a few drop third strikes. Unfortunately, they have gone against us most times. This one on a wild pitch from Jacob Huey. Those catcher Zach Sharpley was setting up inside, and Huey completely missed his strike zone. But he was able to get Orr to chase. And because of that, Sharpley didn't have much of a play on that, and it was a tough play to throw out Orr over at first base. Scudder unable to pick that up, and a bad hop as it gets past Angel Armenta over at third. That will be a hit for Jack Gerstenmaier. Runners on first and second here for the Pilots. Orr over at second, Gerstenmaier over at first. As catcher Luke Ritter is up at the plate here. Luke Ritter not necessarily on the roster as a catcher per se. But after Nick Orr's performance at catcher, they decided to shake things up a little bit and perhaps get a little bit better defense. The 0-1 misses into the dirt, evens up the count. The 1-1 from Jacob Huey misses inside. It was a rainy morning here in Palmer, Alaska. Both teams not taking BP on the field today. In fact, the cover of the pitcher's mound and the catcher's area weren't necessarily taken off until an hour before first pitch, and I'm pretty sure you can tell by the different colors of dirt at home plate. One's more of a darker color, the other a lighter. They had to put more dirt down there to get better footing, more traction there. As the field not necessarily dry. You wonder if that has anything to do with play here today. You wonder if it has anything to do with that ball hit to third base. That took a bad hop, but this one hit to second. Levi Jordan will opt to go to first base on this throw. And the inning is finally over, but the Miners still have a 3-0 lead over the Pilots. We'll now head to the second on your Massey Miners Radio Network. Cole McKay back out for his second inning of work, giving up the 3 runs in the bottom half of the first inning off 3 straight hits. Back-to-back singles by Levi Jordan and Jake Scudder. And then the RBI double by Michael Donadio, getting the Miners on the scoreboard for the first time. And this brings up Cam Montgomery, who yesterday 2 for 4, a couple doubles. In fact, that first double that he saw run as it hit right on the left field wall.
He said after the ball game that a lot of the guys were thinking the same thing too, that he was going to clear the wall on that one. But he said he was a little surprised, not that it didn't clear the wall, but that it got that far, because he said he just put a light swing on it.
1-0, fouled into the catcher's glove.
So that was just pure raw power once again on display from Cam Montgomery.
We've seen during the home run derby that, yes, he can hit the ball out of here, but he does it in different ways. He muscles it sometimes, and then other times it flies on out without him having to pull that, as this one's going to be hit down the third base line, but foul.
Oh, when he muscles it out, it's a scary thing to see. I'll tell you that right now. That one, it's just going to be a behemoth. We saw a couple of those whenever Cam Montgomery takes BP. So basically, if it's just clearing the wall, that's typically just raw power on display. When Cam Montgomery gets a hold of one, well, you'll know.
So Montgomery with a 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, hit to deep center, and Kiersey Jr., it's over his head. This one will go to the wall. And Montgomery's going around second. He will head to third. And the throw heading into the cutoff man. And Montgomery gets into third base with a stand-up triple.
Okay, so I want to talk scouting reports. With the way Cam Montgomery has been swinging the bat lately, both in the showcase in the last few games, and even before the showcase when he had his first home run of the season against Chinook, it's been over a week and a half. Cam Montgomery has been hitting the ball and hitting the ball well. Kersey Jr. wasn't necessarily shallow in center, but he should have definitely been at least a good 5 to 10 steps more back out there in straightaway center field. Don't know why he was playing that in against Cam Montgomery.
It was definitely too close, and it ends up hurting him. As a leadoff triple by Cam Montgomery. Has 3 extra base hits in 2 games for him.
I mean, that's bad alignment. I don't understand why he was playing at that type of depth in center field.
The 0-1 from Sharpley, or to Sharpley, is going to be swung on foul out of play. It's definitely a mental error for sure. I'm surprised the coaching staff didn't necessarily catch it, but I'd be even more surprised if that's what they were planning, bringing them in. Not necessarily too shallow, but they're not playing deep enough. When Cam Montgomery can hit the ball, man, that thing's going far.
Well, especially, I mean, we say that and we get to witness Cam Montgomery in batting practice, but for these clubs, especially the Pilots, they were all in hand not only during the home run derby, but also during the showcase. And last night against them, Montgomery almost cleared the wall. This is the same club we faced last night, so I don't know what Kersey Jr. was thinking once again.
But an 0-2 count here on catcher Zach Sharpley. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball just misses. Cole McKay thought he might have had his first strikeout of the ball game, but Tim Davis says that one just missing off the plate. So runner at third, nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from McKay. Breaking ball hit right to short. And with the infield in, Watson was able to make that catch on the run.
Now batting your center fielder number 24, Brooks Stutler.
So Brooks Stotler is going to be the next man up the plate. It'll be interesting to see if he wants to bunt his way on base and perhaps try to score Cam Montgomery. But we know that he can show some power. He had a triple in yesterday's game, and he almost had a bunt single yesterday if it wasn't for a spectacular play by the Pilots pitcher during that time.
Infield in, so I would imagine the bunt not necessarily in Stotler's head. But you never know with this man at the plate.
But if he bunts it in a perfect spot, it doesn't matter how far they're in.
Well, especially when you're a guy like Brooks Stotler, and that would be the case for him reaching first base safely. The only issue I would have there is Cam Montgomery at third, because if it's bunted close enough to any one of these infielders playing in, that's probably where they would go. Especially with the speed of Stotler, I don't see them opting to go to first. I would imagine they would try to go home.
Here comes the 1-1. Stotler taking this one up, high ball too. Infield still in, and the 2-1 swung on and missed. The 2-2 swung on, hit into shallow left, but right at the left fielder, Nick Orr, as he makes that grab, and Montgomery will have to stay at third.
Now batting your shortstop number 6, Josh Bissonette.
So this brings up Josh Bissonette for the second time here today. He flew out to the shortstop his first time up. And it looks like we're going to get a mound visit here by the Pilots. But back-to-back outs recorded by the Pilots after the leadoff triple by Cam Montgomery. Zach Sharpley lined one right to shortstop, and then Stotler lining it to left field. We would like to take this time to wish yesterday's starting pitcher Connor Higgins a happy 20th birthday. He definitely pitched a beauty yesterday, going 5 innings, striking out 5, only giving up the 1 run.
He pitched absolutely a gem last night, that's for sure. Connor Higgins, and absolutely indeed. Happy birthday to Connor Higgins. An absolute fun soul and one of the voices you've heard from time to time here on the broadcast. Quite a few Miners ball players coming up into the broadcast this season, including Josh Roulette, Justin Vernia, Gage O'Brien, and the birthday boy Connor Higgins.
Bissonette now at the plate for the second time today, takes his first pitch outside, ball 1. Josh is hitting the season hitting .252, 1 home run, 10 RBIs. Cam Montgomery still over at third base after that leadoff triple. This one's going to be ripped down the left field line, but way foul. Miners looking to record their 7th win in a row. Miners have an off day tomorrow. Then we'll be right back here at Herman Brothers Field against the Pilots again at 6 o'clock. But it's going to be 9 straight home games, a 9-game homestand for this Miners ball club. They've had to play a lot of road games so far this season, but it's clear that they've played well on the road.
Yeah, and if they could start playing even better at home, that would be fantastic. As you mentioned, 9 games and 8 home days for this ball club. One of these games are going to be a doubleheader, that being next Saturday against the Oilers, making their way from Kenai over to Herman Brothers Field.
The 1-2 is going to be hit to right field, but Dalton Hurd will make the grab on the run. And the leadoff triple unable to do any damage against the Pilots this inning. As we now head to the top half of the third when we come back on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Deshaun Kiersey Jr. leading things off here in the top half of the third inning. As this misses down low, ball one. Jacob Huey had 32 pitches. Just now beginning the third inning. The 1-0. This is catch is part of the plate for a strike. Miners wearing their home whites. Green lettering with the yellow trim. Pilots wearing their blue jerseys with the white lettering. So a 2-1 count here on Deshaun Kiersey Jr. playing center field here today. He's the guy who, well, he kind of was positioned poorly on the triple by Cam Montgomery as this one's fouled into foul territory, but Angel Armenta making that grab.
Now batting shortstop number 21, Kyle Watson.
So now the top of the order coming back up as Kyle Watson for the second time here today, 0 for 1. First pitch to Watson during this AB and misses outside. The 1-0. Just able to get a piece of this. This goes back to the backstop. The 1-0 misses up high ball 2. After tonight's game, the Glacier Pilots will head to Chugiak for a brief one-game series and then back here on Saturday. The Pilots and the Chinooks, the bottom two teams in the ABL this season. Chinooks have struggled as of late, 6 straight losses for them, but they got a couple days off, the second being today. Chinooks looking to make a playoff push. At the moment, they're currently 3 games back of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots for that 4th spot. But if the Miners beat the Pilots here tonight, they will gain some kind of ground. And the 3-2 pitch called strike 3 as Kyle Watson will head on down to the dugout. The third strikeout of the day for Jacob Huey. So Dalton Hurd, the next man at the plate, playing right field here today. But we mentioned if the Miners beat the Pilots, the Chinooks will grab a half a game on the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and then these two teams will play again tomorrow. And if the Chinooks beat the Pilots then they're definitely sitting pretty comfortable there, as they would only be a game and a half out of that last playoff push, and we still got a little more than 2 weeks left. Or we got 2 weeks left, actually. That's what it is. The season ends on the 3rd. 2 weeks from today will be the first playoff game. And the 2-0 going to be lined into left field. This will get down for a base hit. It's going to be the second base hit for the Pilots here today.
DH number 15, Tyler Walters.
So this brings up Tyler Walters, the DH, one of the catchers on this team, but gotta wonder if he's battling through an injury. Dalton Hurd over at first base. He grabs his lead over there. Huey tries to pick him off, but that's going to be a balk called on him. So another balk that we've seen here in the ABL. Ball called by first base umpire Marcus Dolan. So Hurd moves from first to second on that balk. No count currently on Tyler Walters. Jacob Huey's first pitch misses up high. Walters, strikeout victim number 1 to Jacob Huey, one of the 3 guys that Huey has struck out here today. The 1-0. Breaking ball. Called a strike, even things up. Not really a breeze going on here at the field as the flag out in center field. Not really moving. The 1-1 just misses inside. A 2-1 count here on Tyler Walters, who was 0 for 1 today. Again, 9 straight home games for the Miners. It's 9 home games in 8 days. As this one gets pass catcher Zach Sharpley. And Jacob Huey has to cover home plate. We'll wait the official ruling if that was a wild pitch or a pass ball. Again, I had those duties last night. But today it's Daniel Collins. So what did you decide to rule there, partner?
Going with a pass ball there on Sharpley. Always got to keep the eyes open here at the ABL. Granted, we don't have the best view here from behind the catcher. From in front, it would be a lot better to see exactly, but you still got to go with the gut from time to time.
Here comes a 3-2 pitch from Jacob Hughes. This one's going to be slapped down the right field line. That's going to be a fair ball. And now heading for second, Cam Montgomery's throw goes into second base, but he's able to slide in safely. So it's going to be an RBI double for Tyler Walters as the Pilots score their first run of the ball game.
Now batting second baseman number 2, Duke Kinnaman.
So after that mound visit by pitching coach Matt Greeley, we resume play as Duke Kinnaman steps into the batter's box as he swings at the first pitch, unable to come up with that. Miners leading 3-1. here in the top half of the third inning at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. Jacob Huey still on the mound for the Miners. Huey sets. And the delivery. Swung on, fouled out of play. So an 0-2 count here on Duke Kinnaman. Huey looking for his fourth strikeout of the ball game and to potentially get the Miners out of the inning. The 0-2 misses up high. That one getting away from Jacob Huey. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Misses up high again. Count even up at 2-2. Decent crowd here on hand at Herman Brothers Field. Sure, some fans didn't think that this game would be happening after it pretty much rained all morning and early afternoon. But then the rain came to a halt. And the 2-2 catches the inside part of the plate. Strike three, the fourth strikeout from Jacob Huey, and he's able to strand the runner over at second base. But the Pilots able to grab their first run of the ball game. The Miners do lead still by a score of 3-1 as we will now head to the bottom half of the third on your Madison Miners Radio Network. Levi Jordan leading things off here in the bottom half of the third inning. Miners leading 3-1 over the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Cole McKay still on the mound for the Pilots. And the first pitch to Levi is going to be taken up high, ball one. Levi Jordan today 1 for 1, got the game started with a base hit. Later came around to score the game's first run. McKay winds and delivers. This one's going to be swung on, hit to left field. This one's has some carry on it. It's going to short hop the wall. Levi Jordan will stop at second base with a leadoff double. So 2 hits for Levi Jordan this one. The first one being a single, and now a double.
Now batting your first baseman, number 22, Jake Scudder.
And at least one hit or more in every single inning here for the Miners. And we're in the third. So 3 straight innings with at least one hit. It's not a bad way to start a ball game.
There's been an extra base hit in every single inning, too. A double by Michael Donadio in the first, a triple by Montgomery to lead off last inning, and now the leadoff double by Levi Jordan. We'll see if the Miners are able to capitalize. And the first pitch to Scudder taken for a strike.
So the Miners need a home run to hit for the cycle as a ball club tonight.
And if Jake Scudder is able to hit a home run here, he'd be tied for the league lead in the RBI department with Steven Sensley of the Anchorage Bucks. But here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, hit to the left side of the field. But this will be hit out of play. We mentioned earlier that 2 weeks from today will be the first playoff game of the top of the World Series. The 1 seed will play the 4 and the 2 seed will play the 3. We just don't know who the seeds are yet. But if the season ended today, the Miners would be hosting the Pilots in a best-of-3 series as Jake Scudder goes down on strikes. But it would be the Miners hosting the Pilots, and the Oilers would be hosting the Bucks, and the Chinooks would be the odd team out. But there are still 2 weeks left of conference play. A lot can still happen. But the Miners looking for that number 1 seed as we reach the end of the season, as the first pitch to Michael Donadio swung on and missed. Donadio with that RBI double back in the first ended up scoring Levi Jordan for the first run of the ball game. Donadio later came around and scored the third and last run for the Miners so far. Miners leading 3-1 over the Pilots. The 0-1 misses inside. Garrison Schwartz awaits on deck. So here comes the 1-1 pitch from McKay. This one's going to be lined right over the glove of Jack Gerstenmeyer, and then Taylor's going to wave home the runner, and Levi Jordan's going to come around and score from second base as Nick War's throw went into second base. Pretty much giving the Miners that run there, but it's an insurance run for the Miners. And the second RBI of the day for Michael Donadio. He's also got a single and a double. So Garrison Schwartz up to the plate. Did not record an official at bat. Because last time this one gets past catcher Luke Ritter. Donadio will head on over to second base. And obviously it's going to be a pass ball on Luke Ritter. Garrison Schwartz with a sac fly back in the first inning. Plating Michael Donadio. Has an opportunity to plate him again here with the base hit. The 1-0. Swung on, popped up. This should find the seats, and it will. Miners so far leading 4-1 here in the bottom half of the third inning. Jordan Swick, Dane Collins on the call here at Herman Brothers Field. And the 1-1, again, fouled out of play by Schwartz. The team was able to check off the 20-win goal on their goal board in the clubhouse. It's always nice to look at all those check marks. This team has been in first place for more than a month now. Just a little more. As this one hits Garrison Shorts in the back, as he will head to first.
And one of the ones that could possibly be checked off within a couple of days here is the 10 games above 500 mark. The Miners currently 8 games above 500. With a win here tonight, they would improve to 21-12, only needing one more victory to be 10 games above 500. That would be quite an achievement for this ball club.
So the Miners would have to get on an 8-game win streak if they're going to do it in a couple days. Currently support a 6-game winning streak. And this is a fun team to watch. A team that can do a little bit of everything. They have good pitching and as of right now, good hitting. Do a little bit of everything here. And the first pitch to Angel Armenta misses up high, ball 1. This is a team that will take advantage of walks. They have not walked here today. But the Miners will take their walks and they'll end up capitalizing on them. This is also a team that can bunt their way on. We have a couple players who can get a bunt single. Perhaps the best on the team is Brooks Stotler. As it seems like every time he lays one down, and I think he bunts himself on more than 50% of the time.
Yeah, it's absolutely outrageous. And talking with the skipper, Ben Taylor, early on today, he said as long as he could put the ball in the infield and make the defense have to move a little bit, he has a good shot at beating out the throw at first.
Armenta with the drive to right field, and this one is a fair ball home run. A 3-run home run by Angelo Armenta, and McKay cannot believe it. Armenta connecting with this first home run of the season. It's a 3-run bomb for him, and the Miners now lead by a score of 6-1. A 3-run bomb by Angelo Armenta, and the Miners able to score another 3 spot here in the bottom of the 3rd, but the inning's not over yet.
Wow. A 5-run lead, 6-1. This score here at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. Boy, these guys are putting in some work lately. I mean, opposing teams have had no chance the past few nights. Just absolutely no chance.
Miners, I believe, had 15 hits in yesterday's ball game. Right now they have 7, and they've scored 6 times. So 6 runs on 7 hits for the Miners. Pilots 1 run on 3 hits. It's actually a 7-1 ball game. Our scoreboard was wrong out there, so this is a 4 spot here in the inning. Levi Jordan scoring on a double. But a 4 spot so far, and the Miners not done yet. And look who's up at the plate. It's Cam Montgomery. Montgomery with that leadoff triple back in the 2nd inning. And now the Oilers are scrambling up their bullpen, trying to get somebody loose in a hurry. But it's a 1-2 count here on Cam Montgomery. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. McKay with the strikeout, his 2nd of the ball game, 2nd of the inning. He's had to do it himself. And Zach Sharpley will be the next man up.
Now batting, your catcher number 14, Zach Sharpley.
So Zach Sharpley, 0 for 1 here today. The infield was brought in when he was up the plate, and he ended up lining it to shortstop. And on the first pitch here, he sends this one out of play. But the Miners have to be feeling good right now, currently leading the Pilots by a score of 7-1. But this game's not over yet. And they did fix the scoreboard. 7 runs now out there. The 0-1 taken for a strike. So an 0-2 count here on catcher Zach Sharpley. Andy Cosgrove with the day off. Here comes the 0-2. Breaking ball misses outside. The Oilers do have activity moving in their bullpen. And the 1-2 from McKay misses outside to even up the count. I believe it's Connor Lungwitz warming up in the bullpen for the Pilots. And the 2-2 swung on and missed. Zach Sharpley goes on strikes. And it looks like Cole McKay striking out the side here. A little weird way to strike out the side, but giving up 4 runs, but mainly a 3-run bomb by Angelo Armenta as the Miners leading 7-1. As we'll now head to the top of the 4th when we come back on your Massey Miners Radio Network. Nate Eichhoff leading things off here for the Pilots. And this one on the first pitch is going to be popped up. And this one does reach the seats. But Nate Eichhoff today 0 for 1 flew out to Garrison Schwartz back in the second inning. Miners leading 7-1 here at Herman Brothers Field. Miners looking for their 7th win in a row. Jacob Huey back out for his 4th inning of work. Mentioned he was the All-Star Game MVP. The 0-1 misses up high. Looks like Huey had a little bit of trouble finding his footing as he came off the mound. But we've seen Huey so far today lose track of the fastball. And the 1-1. Weird bounce on Zach Sharpley, the catcher. Now 2-1 count. Huey winds and delivers. And the 2-1 misses outside. But the Pilots still have activity in their bullpen. I would imagine that they'd be sending somebody out. And this one ricochets off of Huey. He's going to have a tough play at first. He barehands gloves and throws. Is able to retire Nate Eichhoff. A weird play for Jacob Huey as it hit off of his thigh. And now skipper Ben Taylor is going to come out and check up on the pitcher, Jacob Huey, but it looks like he is okay just by the smile on his face.
Yeah, Jake Huey is a tough one over there, and lucky. Looked like it got a lot of piece of meat and no bones there. If it would have hit, like, say, his ankle or knee, would have gave you extra reason to worry. But Ben Taylor just being a good head coach, going out there and not taking any rolls of the dice, no chances, making sure his southpaw is okay there on the mound. And once again, no signs of Huey in any type of tragic pain. He's going to throw a few warm-up tosses just to make sure. Here's the first one. Looks good to me, right down Broadway. So I guess luckily for him, especially since he's okay, the ball, when it ricocheted off his thigh, was heading towards first base, so he just had to run it down and make sure he was able to get a hold of it, toss it over to Scudder before Eichhoff reached first base, and that's exactly what happened.
So it's Jack Lebowski who was warming up in the bullpen. Thought it was Connor Lungwitz, but it is the great Lebowski, as we like to call him. And the 1-0 is going to be swung on, hit down the right field line. There should be room, and Montgomery unable to make the play. That one falls right in front of him, right in front of that
It's getting a little
dirt mound of the
scary out
bullpen.
there. Yeah, he was running out of a lot of real estate. They told him he did have room, which he did. But as soon as he got on that dirt mound out there in the bullpen, things got a little scary. Luckily, he held up and was able to hold on to the fence, not losing control or slipping and falling out there. We know it did rain earlier. So luckily, Cam Montgomery able to apply the brakes quickly there.
About a 1-1 count here on Nick Orr. So he swings and misses. Here comes the 1-2 from Huey. Misses down low ball 2. Huey's 2-2 pitch just misses, perhaps a little low. Let's count out 3-2. So 3-2 pitch swung on and missed. The 5th strikeout thrown by Jacob Huey here today. And now Jack Gerstenmeyer will be the man.
Number 22, Jack Gerstenmeyer.
First pitch to Gerstenmeyer is going to be called a ball. A 1-0 swung on and missed.
Ever since the All-Star break, here's the offensive numbers for the Miners. 6 runs on a Monday, and then they scored 9 runs the very next day, both those games against Chinooks, and a dozen runs last night, 7 runs here so far. That is a heck of a lot of offense post All-Star break. No less than 6 runs scored for this Miners ball club since resuming conference play.
Definitely makes the pitchers feel comfortable at the plate or on the mound. Anytime that your offense can give you, well, a little more than 4 runs. 4 runs is considered a good lead.
Yeah, but they're going above 5, over a handful of runs a game since coming back. That is fantastic.
And the 2-2 caught strike 3. Confusing me for a second. Jack Gerstenmeyer going down on strikes, the 6th strikeout by Jacob Huey. As it is still a 7-1 ball game here at Herman Brothers Field. We will step aside when we return on your Master Miners Radio Network. Brooks Stoller leading things off. Wonder if we're going to see a bunt single here from Brooks Stoller. First baseman playing back. So is the third baseman. And so are the middle infielders at the edge of the grass. So I got to think he's going to lay down a bunt here. But he's not showing bunt. This one misses outside.
Yeah, every infielder for that matter almost looks like they're trying to tempt Brooks Stotler to lay it down. Everyone in the infield playing back just before the outfield grass.
The 1-0 is going to be hit towards second base. It's going to be Kinnaman who gloves and throws on over to first to retire Stotler for the first out of the inning.
Now batting your shortstop, number 6, Josh Bissonette.
Josh Bissonette is the batter today. He's 0 for 2. Cole McKay still on the mound for the Pilots. Imagine he's out there just to eat some innings, as the bullpen had to work yesterday. In fact, their starting pitcher yesterday could not even record an out. 1-0. This is inside. Actually, that was the Chinooks. That was the Chinooks guy who couldn't record an out. Yesterday was Fred Schlichtholz. But regardless, he got lit up either way.
Yeah, he did. If I remember correctly, Schlickholtz went 2 1/3, giving up the 7 runs.
All of them earned. Walked 5, did not strike out a man.
Wow. Rough day at the office for anybody who gets the starting nod against the Miners recently.
But a 3-0 count here on Josh Bissonette. Here comes the delivery. Catches the inside part of the plate. Strike 1. Miners with a 7-1 lead. The 3-1 pitch. Check swing foul. His first base coach, assistant coach as well, Joe Perez, will snag that one. And it's a 7-1 score, 3-2 count on Josh Bissonette. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on, hit to short. Watson gloves and throws. And they're able to retire Josh Bissonette. Something we're fortunate is working here today that necessarily hasn't been is the scoreboard out in center field. Is it looked like there was a bad circuit out there. Whenever the Miners were scoring runs, they're unable to put the Miners score on the bottom half of the scoreboard out in right center field. But it's all fixed here today as Levi Jordan pops this one up. Should find the seats, and it will.
And speaking of scoreboards, a scoreboard update for you. In Kenai, the Oilers currently trailing the Anchorage Bucks by a score of 6-4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bucks with a 2-run lead in that contest. And that was same 2 clubs in action last night. The Oilers victorious in that matchup 7-3. So back and forth they go so far down at Carroll Seymour Memorial Park.
The 0-1 to Levi. Swung on, foul back. So an 0-2 count here on Levi Jordan. 2 outs. Here comes Cole McKay's 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Got Levi to chase that one. He will go down on strikes. And for the first time today, the Miners go 1-2-3. But the team's still winning 7-1 as we now head to the bottom half of the 4th on your Madison Miners Radio Network. Isaac Feldstein pinch hitting here for catcher Luke Ritter. Feldstein on the first pitch sends this one back.
What do you know? Another early change here for the Pilots. Last night, seen an awful lot of changes. And here we go. It all begins right now with Isaac Feldstein, the first pinch hitter of the evening for the Pilots.
Not having as bad as a day as I was yesterday.
Not yet, at least.
And the 0-1 catch is part of the plate strike 2. Isaac Feldstein was in the finals of the Home Run Derby with Cam Montgomery. In fact, in the first round of the Home Run Derby, he outslugged Montgomery, 14 home runs compared to Montgomery's 13. But Montgomery with the 13 home runs in round number 3, and Feldstein was unable to get that many. I believe he only had 6 or 7. And Cam Montgomery was crowned. So Isaac Feldstein there going down on strikes. That's the, I believe, 6th strikeout for Jacob Huey. Actually, it was the 7th strikeout. So Jacob Huey having swing and miss stuff here today. This one's going to be lined over to first base. It takes a weird bounce in the outfield, but Cam Montgomery will come up with that. So a 1-out single for Deshaun Kiersey Jr. And now Kyle Watson, top of the order, coming to the plate. Jacob Huey at 76 pitches. Currently in the top half of the 5th. Watson takes that first pitch for a strike. The Miners spend their mornings lifting, running, and staying in shape by visiting the Alaska Club. Visit them in Anchorage, Eagle River, Fairbanks, Juneau, and the Madison Valley. Visit www.thealaskaclub.com for more. And a pickoff attempt over at first base. But Kiersey Jr. gets back safely. Jacob Huey from Long Beach State delivering. 0-1 misses outside. Huey college roommates with Brooks Stotler. Both of those guys playing here today. Stotler batting 9th for the Miners. Casey Jr. has his lead over at first. And the 1-1 swung on and missed.
Oh, boy, that's an embarrassing one. He goes down swinging, huh? Not getting the at-bat. But Jacob Huey taking the all-star shortstop Kyle Watson out of his shoes there, breaking his ankles a little bit. Watson doing a complete 360 and falling in the opposite batter's box. Huey's not going to forget that one.
He sets in the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, the 8th strikeout and 2nd strikeout of the inning for Jacob Huey.
He's starting to get in the groove now.
So with that 8th strikeout, Jacob Huey moves into 2nd place in the league in strikeouts with 41. Currently behind Dom Bazzani of the Oilers, who currently sits at 44. Actually, Jacob Huey tied in 2nd place, the other one being Connor Lungwitz, here of the Pilots. The 1-0 catch is part of the strike. Oh, catch is part of the plate for a strike. The 1-1 misses outside as Dalton Hurd comes to the plate. Today he is 1 for 2 singled in his last at bat and scored the only run in the game for them so far. But Hurd comes up here with a runner at first base, 2 outs. Here comes the 2-1. 2-1 misses inside. And the runner goes here on the 3-1. This one's going to be popped up into shallow right field. It's going to be Levi Jordan who calls for that and makes the grab. And the Miners get out of this inning. So a couple more strikeouts for Jacob Huey. That's 7 of the game for him. As we now head to the bottom half of the 5th when we come back on your Natsu Miners Radio Network. Welcome back here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Miners leading the Pilots by a score of 7-1. Jake Scudder up to the plate. Cole McKay is still on the mound in the first pitch. Breaking ball misses down low. And we got a plethora of defensive changes, kind of like yesterday's game. Nick Orr from left field will move now behind the plate. Isaac Feldstein coming into the game will take over in left field. Tanner Sanders coming into the game over at first base for Nate Eichhoff. And I believe that's it for now. But Jake Scudder with a 1-1 count. Breaking ball misses inside. Jake Scudder today, 1 for 2, single, and later came around to score in the first. But struck out in his last at bat. Here comes the 2-1 from McKay. Breaking ball outside. We mentioned Nick Orr, who's behind the plate. Kind of struggled there yesterday, so we'll see if he does okay here today. Here comes the 3-1. Misses outside, ball 4. The first walk issued today by Cole McKay. And a leadoff walk for Jake Scudder and the Miners as Michael Donadio comes to the
Now
plate.
batting, your DH, number 26, Michael Donadio.
And what a day Michael Donadio's had at the plate. He doubled. He got an RBI double back in the first inning. He later came around to score. And then an RBI single in his last at bat. Also came around to score there. So 2 for 2, a single, a double, a couple RBIs, and a couple runs scored. Donadio looks at that first pitch, ball 1. Jake Scudder over at first base. Miners leading 7-1 here at Herman Brothers Field. The 1-0. Swung on, hit high into left field. Isaac Feldstein will make that grab to retire Donadio for the first time today.
Now batting, your left fielder, number 18, Garrison Schwartz.
And now Garrison Schwartz will be coming to the plate. Garrison Schwartz today still does not have an at-bat. A sac fly in the first, and a hit by a pitch his last time. The first pitch. Garrison Schwartz takes that one for a strike. The 0-1, and Schwartz sends this one into left center field. Feldstein over there. He will make the grab. Jake Scudder has to return over to first. So back-to-back F7s after the leadoff walk issued to Jake Scudder. But now 2 outs, so Angelo Armenta will be the man up.
Number 4, Angelo Armenta.
And last time up, Angelo Armenta, 3-run bomb to right field. It was hugging the foul line, but it just stayed fair. It was a 3-run home run for Armenta. The first pitch to Armenta taken up high, ball 1. McKay at 88 pitches so far. And the 89th pitch is going to be popped up into foul territory. And Jack Gerstenmeyer will make the grab as Armenta fouls out here in the 5th. But we'll now head to the top half of the 6th when we come back here on your Massey Miners Radio Network. Tyler Walters leading things off here for the Pilots in the 6th inning. Huey still on the mound in the first pitch to Walters, taking up high, ball 1. "86 pitches for Jacob Huey. And the 1-0 misses, ball 2. So the Miners may have some activity going in their bullpen. It looks like it's Tyler Wyatt warming up out in the pen, and the 2-0 is going to be slapped foul.
And actually, Tyler Wyatt, whenever he comes into the ball game, he has good enough stuff to finish off this game because he's more of a long reliever, spot starter type of guy. Don't know what his role is going to become here in the second half, but regardless, he has a good enough arm to go multiple innings, definitely past 2. So if he comes in, whether it be this inning or even in the 7th, with the score being 7-1 so far, I could see him coming from the 7th all the way to the 9th and preserving a lot of arms out there in the Miners' pen.
The 2-2 misses up high, ball 3. Miners used 3 arms in yesterday's game. Or 3 bullpen arms, that is, 4 total. Jordan Frederick coming in relief for Connor Higgins. Gage Berlin later came on, and then Gage O'Brien finished up the game. And the 3-2 swung on and missed. The 9th strikeout by Jacob Huey. As we begin here, the top of the 6th inning. Jacob Huey 1 strikeout away from tying the league lead in strikeouts, being Dom Bazzani of the Oilers. The 1-0 misses up high. The 2-0 catches the part of the plate. It was at the lettering, but Duke Kinman not liking that call. He steps out to regroup. Here comes the 2-1 from Huey. Misses outside, ball 3. Huey, to my knowledge, has not walked anybody here today. And the 3-1 swung on and missed. Huey looking for his 10th strikeout. So here comes the 3-2 from Jacob Huey. Breaking ball. Able to get a piece of that one was Kinnaman. We'll be right back here on a 3-2. But the Miners leading 7-1. And the 3-2 misses down low, ball 4. So the first walk issued by Jacob Huey. And a 1-out base runner for the Pilots.
Pinch hitting for the Glacier Pilots out of Oregon State University, number 30, Tanner Sanders.
So Tanner Sanders coming in, not pinch hitting, but he came in last inning as a defensive replacement over at first base for Eichhoff. Runner on first base being Kinnaman, and the 0-1 fouled back to the backstop. Miners looking to win their 7th in a row, looking to improve to 21-12 on the season. The 0-2 swung on and missed. The 10th strikeout thrown by Jacob Huey.
One more strikeout, and that will match his season high with 11. And it will also put him in the lead for most strikeouts in the ABL.
It would move him into a tie for the league lead.
Still come as leader.
It's still that
It's
way.
our guy. Went on an absolutely impressive performance here tonight.
And this one's going to be ripped into the hole on the left side of the diamond as this one gets through, and a 2-out base hit for Nick Orr. Runners on first and second now for the Pilots, but they're still trailing by a score of 7-1. That's Jack Gerstenmeyer will be the next batter. I mentioned Tyler Wyatt warming up in the Miners bullpen, as pitching coach Matt Greeley takes a slow walk to the mound.
Again, folks, big thanks for coming out tonight at National Regional Medical Center Day at the Park.
And he is over 100 pitches, 62 strikes, 40 balls. But Jacob Huey has thrown more than 100 pitches so far this season. In fact, he went the distance in one of the games. Or no, he didn't. He gave up a lot of runs in one inning. We thought he might have been done, but that was a bullpen that was already taxed. So even though he had like 95 pitches, he came back out for one more inning and was able to be a workhorse, eat up some innings. But here today, it's been all Jacob Huey. Only giving up the one run, that being to Dalton Hurd back in the third, after Tyler Walters doubled home Dalton Hurd. But here, runners on first and second base, 2 outs. The 0-1 from Huey. Swung on, hit foul. So Huey 1 strike away from leading the league in strikeouts. If he picks it up here, he would also strike out the side. We'll see what his pitch selection will be on the 0-2. Huey sets. And the 0-2 pitch swung on, jammed him, as this one's going to be hit to second. Levi Jordan charges and throws on over to first. And he's able to throw him out. But 6 great innings of work by Jacob Huey. We imagine his night would be over, as he is over the 100-pitch mark. But Jacob Huey raking up some strikeouts. He currently sits second in the league in the strikeout department with 43. But we will step aside, and the Miners will come to bat when we come back on your Massey Miners Radio Network. Cam Montgomery leading things off here in the bottom half, the 6th inning. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots as Cole McKay's day is done. Jack Lebowski coming on in relief. Lebowski making his 4th appearance out of the pen. This one's going to be hit to deep center field, and Kiersey Jr. too far shallow again. Montgomery has another opportunity for a triple. He rounds second, and he will get into third, sliding with the triple. So apparently Kiersey Jr. did not learn his lesson.
I don't get it. Somebody didn't get the memo, and maybe he's not paying attention to who's at the dish at the time. I just really don't understand it. It's baffling. I mean, Cam's going to go there every time if that's how he wants to play him.
It's 390 feet to dead center. And this one gets away from catcher Nick Orr. But anyways, this is the 4th relief appearance for Lebowski of the year. So far in 7 1/3 innings pitched, he is 0-0 with a 3.68 ERA. So this brings up Zach Sharpley. So Cam Montgomery again with 2 triples here today. And a couple extra base hits in yesterday's game. 2 doubles it was, but today, 2 triples. So he's starting to feel it a little. He's starting to settle into a groove after that home run derby. Actually, the Scout Showcase is where it all started. And then the home run derby. This one's going to be chopped up the middle. Only play is going to be at first base, and it's going to be a tough one as Watson's able to throw out Zach Sharpley over at first. But it is an RBI ground out for Zach Sharpley. The Miners now lead by a score of 8-1.
Now batting, your center fielder number 24, Brooks Stotler.
So this brings up Brooks Stotler, who today is 0 for 2. Stotler taking that first pitch down low, ball 1. A 2-0 count here now on Brooks Stotler, who surprisingly we have not seen shown a bunt yet today. The 2-0 swung on and missed. The Pilots getting their bullpen up and running again. The 2-1 swung on, pulled down the right field line. This is going to be trouble as it falls in. Stotler will round first, and he will stop there as Hurd got to that ball in a hurry and rifled it into his cutoff man. But a single for Brooks Stotler. And now Josh Bissonette will be the batter. Yeah, pickoff attempt over at first, but Stotler dives back in safely. Tyler Wyatt's still up in the bullpen. The 1-0. Catches the outside part of the plate for a strike as that kind of got away from Nick Orr, the catcher. Stotler over at first, and the 1-1 misses outside, ball 2. The 2-1 catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Brooks Stotler over at first base does have some speed. Surprisingly, it does not have many stolen bases. But he has been thrown out 4 times. And the 1-2 swung on and missed. This net will run over to first base. And it's a drop third strike. Actually, first base was occupied, so Josh Bissonnette is out. My apologies. I thought there were 2 outs for whatever reason, and it is a different case if there are 2 outs. So it is strike 3.
Number 1, Levi Jordan.
All right.
This one's going to be hit to second base, taking a bad hop on Kinnaman, but he's able to retire Levi Jordan, and the side is retired. But the Miners leading by 8-1 now after the leadoff triple by Cam Montgomery, who later comes around to score. 8-1 is the score as we now head to the top of the 7th when we come back on your Master Miners Radio Network. Isaac Feldstein leading things off here for the Pilots in the 7th inning. And on the first pitch, he sends this one high, but foul. Feldstein today 0 for 2, grounded out to second base in the 2nd, then struck out his last time up in the 5th. The 0-1 swung on, hit foul. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Miners as it is Tyler Wyatt. Tyler Wyatt coming in relief of Jacob Huey. And the 0-2 swung on and missed. Tyler Wyatt recording his first strikeout. And next will be Deshaun Kiersey Jr.
And how about that? Feldstein coming in as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning. And so far, he's seen 6 pitches and has struck out twice. So not the best day at the plate for Feldstein. Back-to-back good morning, good afternoon, good night recipes.
So Deshaun Kiersey Jr. is the man. So Tyler Wyatt making his 7th appearance of the year. He is 3-1 with a 2.48 ERA. And the 0-1 misses away. Ball 1. So that closes the book on Jacob Huey, who went 6 strong innings here today, giving up 5 hits, only surrendering the 1 run, only walked 1, and struck out 10 batters. Now this one's going to be swung on, hit foul. But Huey now second in the ABL in strikeouts. Needed one more to lead the league. But the season's not over yet, so he still has time to get that accolade, lead the league in strikeouts. And the 1-2 misses outside, even things up. Sean Kiersey Jr. today is 1 for 2, singled his last time up, but flew out to third base back in the third. And the 2-2 misses, ball 3. It's the top of the order, Kyle Watson, who waits on deck. Wyatt sets and delivers in the 3-2 pitch. Check swing. Is able to get a piece of that. The 3-2 is going to be swung on line to center field as center fielder Brooks Sottler makes the grab to retire Deshaun Kiersey Jr. for the second out of the inning. So the top of the order and Kyle Watson.
Now batting, shortstop number 21, Kyle Watson.
First pitch to Watson, taken for a strike. Miners leading 8-1 here. 8 runs on 9 hits for the Miners, 1 run on 5 hits. And Watson fouls this one off into the glove. So no 2 count here on Kyle Watson. Wyatt looking for a second strikeout. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on, lined into the left field gap. This one will go to the wall. And first and heading to second is Watson. He will stop there with a 2-out double. That's Watson's third double of the summer. Pilots looking to score runs in any way possible as they do trail 8-1. We're in the top of the 7th. It's looking good for the Miners so far. Looking to make it 7 in a row with a win here today. So Dalton Hurd is the next man up to the plate. And he takes that first ball outside, ball 1. One 0. Got him to chase. So he was a little ahead of the count. Pilots and Miners here. Miners have a day off tomorrow, and then the Pilots will be coming back here to finish this 3-game series. Wyatt sets. And the 2-1 pitch. Called a strike. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Tyler Walters awaits on deck. And Wyatt decides to just step off the mound here. This will be the 18th pitch of the inning by Tyler Wyatt. This one's going to be hit to short. Josh Bissonnette charges. He will make the grab and will throw it on across the diamond for the out. So the Pilots unable to do anything on that 2-out double by Kyle Watson. We'll now head to the bottom half of the seventh inning stretch time here at the ballpark. And we'll be right back on MSU Miners Radio Network. Jake Scudder leading things off here for the Miners here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. RJ Cordero coming in as a defensive replacement over at third base for Jack Gerstenmeyer. And Scudder on the first pitch sends this one into right field. So leadoff single for Jake Scudder. He is now 2 for 3 on the day. So Michael Donadio will be the next man up. Donadio today, 2 for 3. A single, a double, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored for Donadio. And the first pitch to him misses outside. We got a new pitcher on the mound for the Glacier Pilots as Andy Roloff from the University of Central Florida will be the new pitcher on the mound. A 1-0. Swung on, lined right up to the mound, and it deflects over to second, and they're able to get to Nadio. Like a scary play, as it looks like it just got him in the hat. Thought it may have gotten him in the face, but he's walking around fine. So must have got the bill of the cap. And thankfully, he's okay. But Andy Roloff from the University of Central Florida.
And now batting, your left fielder, number 18, Garrison Schwartz.
So this season, Andy Roloff 0-1 with a 3.56 ERA. This is his 14th appearance out of the bullpen. So it was a 1-4-3 putout. As Garrison Schwartz comes to the plate. Schwartz today is 0 for 1. He has 1 RBI on his sac fly. He was hit by a pitch and later came around to score. 622 fans here at Herman Brothers Field. And the 1-0 swung on and missed. But considering that the weather here today wasn't the best, it's a pretty solid number. In fact, no other teams in the ABL come close to the attendance here. This attendance number may be one of the lowest so far this season. Still beats just about every other team in attendance. But Garrison Shorts with a 1-2 count. Jake Scudder over at second base. A 1-2 pitch. Swung on, hit foul. Andy Roloff is the pitcher. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, hit into the hole. And Scudder's going to be holed up at third base, and it's going to be a single for Garrison Shorts. He's pumped up as he pounds his batting gloves together. This first hit of the ball game. And the guy who had a 3-run home run in the third inning is coming up to the plate. Armenta 1 for 3 with that home run. Connected on his first home run of the summer. Has a couple RBI opportunities here. First pitch to Armenta taken outside, ball 1. So Roloff coming into the game for Jack Lebowski. Lebowski went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, surrendered 1 run, did not walk a batter, and struck out 1. And the 1-0 misses outside, 2-0 now to Angelo Armenta. Roloff sets and delivers. 2-0 misses down low, ball 3 now. You're just now tuning in. The Miners lead by a score of 8-1. Jordan Swick, Dan Collins here, providing the play-by-play and color commentary. And the 3-0 catch is part of the plate for the first strike in the AB. Jake Scudder over at third. Garrison Shorts over at first. The 3-1 pitch taken up high, ball 4.
So we'll see where Kersey Jr. decides to place himself in center field with Cam Montgomery coming up to the dish. He burned Kersey Jr. 2 times already tonight. 2 triples, both of them well over his head in center field. And Cam Montgomery coming up now with the bases loaded, and boy, can he really break this one open right now.
And Kersey Jr. is, well, he turned it back to the plate and took a few steps back. Does not want to get beat yet again. And the outfield alignment is deep. Montgomery, some big holes out there in the outfield, however. And the first pitch to Montgomery swung on and missed. So the base is loaded, 1 out here. Myers looking to add on to the damage they've already done here today. The 0-1 swung on and missed. 0-2. Catcher Zach Sharpley awaits on deck. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball misses inside. Montgomery today with the 2 triples like Dan mentioned. So he is 2 for 3. Roll-off sets and fires. And swung on and missed. Second strikeout for Cam Montgomery today. That's the second out of the inning, first strikeout of the inning. As catcher Zach Sharpley comes up for the 4th time today. Last time up, was able to give the Miners another run. Gave them their 8th run of the ball game on an RBI ground out to short. But Sharpley coming up with the bases loaded here in the 7th. Sharpley swinging at the first pitch, swung on and missed. The 0-1 swung on, hit into left center field. This will get down. That will score 1 for sure. Number 2 is going to come around to score, and Armenta is going to stop at third. This one gets past him, and Armenta is going to score. And this one gets away from the catcher, so runner will advance from second to third now as Zach Sharpley into second base with a double. So Zach Sharpley bringing home 3 runs. Brooks Stoller now at the plate. Miners leading 11-1 after the single by Zach Sharpley. And a couple errors forces them all the way to third now. 2 outs. Brooks Stoller and the 1-1 swung on and missed. Well, one thing for sure, we know there's an E5 on the throw that completely missed catcher Nick Orr that went up the first baseline. That was the second error. The other error, we're still trying to figure out as Stoller swings and misses there. And now a 2-2 count. Runner at third, 2 outs, and the 2-2 pitch swung on, hit foul. So the 2-2 pitch swung on, lined into center field. Casey Jr. too shallow as this one gets past him, but Stoller falling on first. He's going to stop at second, though. No, he's not. He's going to go to third, and he's going to slide in. He gets a triple anyway. So skipper Ben Taylor had the stop sign on, but Brooks Stoller opts to go into third base anyways. So a triple by Brooks Stoller.
I wonder if he didn't fall. As he was rounding first base, he fell, totally face planted, but was still able to get up. He jogged practically to second base and then got it going to get into third. I wonder if he didn't fall. Would if he have had an inside the Parker?
Well, I think he really wanted that triple after he fell down. Skipper Ben Taylor had the stop sign on him, but Stoller decided to keep it going, and he got into third base. Still 2 outs, though. So an RBI for Brooks Stoller, and the 2-0 swung on and missed. This is Josh Bissonette, who today 0 for 4. Couple flyouts, a ground out, and a strikeout for him.
Only Miners so far without a base hit.
The 2-1 misses up high, ball 3.
See if he can maybe even earn a walk here. That would equal every Miner in this lineup reaching base safely.
Miners with 13 hits right now. Here comes the 3-1. And this is it catches part of the plate for a strike. So it's a full count here on Josh Bissonette. The 3-2 swung on, hit into right field. The right fielder Hurd is backtracking, but he's able to make the catch at the warning track and then runs into the wall. But the Miners able to score 4 runs here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They now lead 12-1, and we now head to the top of the 8th when we come back on your Match 2 Miners Radio Network. Mick Vorhoff now on the mound for the Matsu Miners. Yes, Tyler Walters coming to the plate. The 0-2 pitch misses outside. Tyler Wyatt went 1 inning, giving up 1 hit, and struck out 1 batter, did not give up a run. The 1-2 misses outside. Evens up the count at 2-2 now. Miners leading 12-1 over the Pilots. The 2-2 swung on and missed. There's a little bit of frustration by Tyler Walters as he slams his bat into the ground. So the first strikeout for McBorhoff.
Pinch hitting for the Glacier Pilots out of East Carolina. Number 9, Kirk Morgan.
So Kirk Morgan pinch hitting for Duke Kinnaman. And the first pitch sends this into shallow left field. And Josh Bissonnette will make the grab to retire Morgan for the second out of the inning.
Now batting, first baseman number 30, Tanner Sanders.
So Tanner Sanders, the next batter, 0 for 1 today, struck out his last time up. First pitch catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. The 0-1, able to get a piece of that, but an 0-2 count now. And the 0-2 to Tanner Sanders misses outside and away, or low and away, that is. It's a 1-2 count. Pilots with activity up and moving in their bullpen. And the 1-2 swung on and missed. A 1-2-3 inning for Mick Vorhoff, able to come into this game 2 of the 3 outs via the strikeout. We'll now head to the bottom half of the 8th when the Miners come to bat on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Levi Jordan leading things off here for the Miners. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, Zach Wolf on the mound for the Pilots. And the 1-0 is going to be lined into center field, and this one has some carry to it. Sean Kersey Jr. makes the running grab just shy of the warning track in center field.
Now batting your first baseman number 22, Jake.
Jake Scudder, the next batter up. Today he is 2 for 3. Couple singles, a run scored, and a walk. First pitch gets away from Nick Orr. Miners leading 12-1 over the Pilots. Miners looking to win their 7th game in a row. 1-0 misses inside. With the win here today, the Miners would be one step closer to being 10 games over 500. In fact, they're not just one step closer, they're one win closer and one win away. So a 2-1 count here on Miners first baseman Jake Scudder. Scudder taking that 1 for a strike, evens up the count. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on, hit into right center field. That's going to get down. Scudder rounding first. He will take a wide turn and stop. It'll be a single for Jake Scudder. So 3 singles on the day for him.
Now batting, your DH number 26, Michael Donadio.
So this brings up Michael Donadio, who today, couple RBIs, a single, a double, 2 runs scored for him. He is 2 for 4. Last time up, he sent one right back to Andy Roloff as it hit off the cap of Roloff and deflected over to second base. It was a 1-4-3 putout. Was the official score. But Michael Donadio here with a 1-1 count, 1 out. Jake Scudder over at first. The 1-1 swung on, hit into right field. Another base hit from Michael Donadio. And Jake Scudder will stop at second. So 3 hits on the day from Michael Donadio. 2 singles and a double.
Now batting, your left fielder number 18, Garrison Schwartz.
And Garrison Schwartz now the man up to the plate. Schwartz today singled his last time up, and on the first pitch, he sends this one foul. What a day for the Miners. Or how about what a week for the Miners?
24 runs in the last 2 ball games. That's a whole lot of runs.
The Miners have an opportunity to score a few more here. Runners on first and second, 1 out. The 1-1, or the 0-1 rather. Taken for a strike, 0-2 now on Garrison Schwartz.
And unless the Pilots want to put up a gigantic rally in the top of the 9th inning, this will be the Miners' last chance to bat this evening. So last chance to tally anything over 12.
The 0-2 misses outside, ball 1.
It looks like big boy Floyd warming and ready in the Miners' bullpen.
With the offense the Miners have had, he's not been needed for any safe situations. And the 1-2 swung on, fouled in the glove. So apparently it wasn't a 1-2 count. Actually, it was. He did strike out. I was wondering what was going on there. It was a 1-2 count, and he fouled it into the glove. That would be strike 3.
Tim Davis even gave the outside, and Schwartz said, well, I'm going to stay here in the batter's box and dig in until they notice. And then Tim Davis telling him, hey, bud, you got to go back to the bench, strike 3. Good try there, though, by Garrison Schwartz.
So Armenta up to the plate. 1 for 3 here today. Walked his last time up in the 3-run bomb back in the 3rd inning. One of the impact players in this ballgame for sure. He may be a player that we may want to interview during the post-game show. But there's some others too. And it's going to be a very tough decision as everybody has contributed and in a great way. Cam Montgomery with 2 triples himself. Michael Donadio, 3 hits. Same with Scudder. Levi Jordan with a couple. Either way you look at it, it's going to be a tough way to pick somebody. But a 3-0 count here on Angel Armenta, and the 3-0 catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. And the 3-1 misses outside, ball 4, and the Miners get another base runner in the 8th as the bases are now loaded.
And Cam Montgomery, for the second time in as many innings, gets to roll up to the dish and an opportunity to hit with the bases loaded.
So 2 triples and 2 strikeouts for Cam Montgomery.
We'll see what his 5th at-bat brings. It's either going to bring an out or you'd imagine maybe some sort of RBI perhaps. There's nowhere to put him. Come on, Cam.
Montgomery swinging at the first pitch and misses. Mention we'll have the player of the game as well as the coach's interview on the Napa Auto Parts postgame show at the conclusion of this ball game. So stay tuned. I will be with skipper Ben Taylor, and my partner Dean Collins will be with the player of the game, or an impact player. Everybody should be the player of the game. And it's very tough to just pick one.
Yeah, when you put up a 12 spot, that's awfully hard to do.
The 0-2 misses inside.
You have Armenta with a home run and 2 walks. You have Montgomery with his 2 triples. You have Jake Scudder with 3 singles and 2 runs scored.
And the Miners have 3 triples here today. And the 1-2 swung on and missed. Cam Montgomery goes down on strikes for the 3rd time here today. But the Miners unable to score here in the 8th as they lead them loaded. We'll now head to the top of the 9th when Jordan Floyd will be coming out when we come back on your Matthew Miners Radio Network. Jordan Floyd out on the mound here to begin the 9th inning for the Maxey Miners, and this will be Jordan Floyd's 17th appearance out of the bullpen. He is 1-1 with a .50 ERA. This is definitely not a save opportunity, but it's been a few days since he got some work in. And with the off day tomorrow, the Miners figure, why not? We might as well throw you here.
Well, they've scored 6 runs or more since returning from the All-Star break. 12 runs in the last 2 ball games, so no 9th inning situations it's been, because they've been winning by a ton the past few days. So just looking for a spot to put in Floyd, and that's why I guess Ben Taylor likes to call him not only the closer but the 9th inning man, because you get into situations like this where it's been a couple days since you've thrown, and you almost have no choice if you want to keep him in that same kind of a groove to throw him out there tonight.
So now a 3-2 count here on Nick Orr, who today 1 for 3 with a couple strikeouts. Here comes the 3-2 from Jordan Floyd. Swung on, hit foul. The 3-2 pitch misses, ball 4, and I guess you could say the leaded dread-off walk, or the dreadful walk, the dreaded walk.
Whatever you want to call it, partner. The dreaded leadoff walk, is that what you're trying to go
The
for?
dreaded leadoff walk is exactly what I wanted.
I guess. I think that still counts, even if you're up 11 runs. Why not? Can never be too careful in the game of baseball. Although Big Boy Floyd has what it takes to get this club out of it. 11-run lead, couldn't really ask for much more.
So RJ Cordero coming to the plate for the first time today. Coming into the game as a defensive replacement for third baseman Jack Gerstenmaier. But runner over at first base. Here comes the 1-1. Taken for a strike. Cordero now down in the count 1-2. Isaac Feldstein awaits on deck. The 1-2 is going to be hit to second base, double play ball. Jordan over to second for 1. Over to first. Will he get the double play? No. As it looks like Cordero just beat the throw by Josh Bissonette. So 4-6 fielder's choice.
Bench hitting for the Glacier Pilots. Out of Palmer, Alaska, and Arizona Christian University, number 1, Ryan Perkins.
So Ryan Perkins, one of the local guys, pinch hitting here for Isaac Feldstein. Taking that first pitch for a strike. Floyd with the 0-1 pitch. Called a strike again. So Perkins down in the count. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Jordan Floyd throws the heater to record his first strikeout of the ball game. And the second out in the 9th.
So Isaac Feldstein came up as a pinch hitter for Luke Ritter in the 5th here in this 8-hole. Saw 3 pitches, struck out swinging twice. And then Ryan Perkins now in the same situation, sees 3 pitches, goes down swinging.
So Sean Kersey Jr. sends this one into right center field. Garrison Shorts. No, that's Cam Montgomery who reaches and makes the grab to end the ball game. A convincing 12-1 victory for the Miners. And what a game. This is their 7th win in a row as the Miners improved to 21-12 and the Pilots fall to 16-19.
Yeah, I don't know what else you could say about this ball club. They are swinging the bats extremely well. A dozen runs in back-to-back games, and there's nothing you could do but just kind of brag about this team a little bit. They've been absolutely spectacular, and they're hitting the ball and hitting the ball well. They still are definitely drawing their walks. There was a couple of guys, such as Angelo Armenta. He drew 2 walks today. Jake Scudder, his original self, also drawing a base on balls and 3 hits. And then there's guys who are just absolutely slapping the ball around everywhere. You have Cam Montgomery with 2 triples, hitting 2 balls over the head of Deshaun Kersey Jr. out there in center field. Angelo Armenta goes yard. So it's coming in a lot of different ways. They're earning the free passes. They're hitting home runs. They're hitting around a couple triples. Brooks Stotler also with the triple. His was more or less just showing off the wheels. And it's funny because when you get hitting like this, it can sometimes be easy to overlook the pitching. The pitching doesn't need much run support to necessarily get the job done, but Jacob Huey going 5 strong, check that 6 strong, earning the victory here tonight, only gives up the 1 run, strong outing for him, goes double digits in the punch-out category, and just a fantastic night. Once again, I feel like I've been saying deja vu all over again for quite a few days, and I'll tell you what, I can't get enough of this. This is great baseball.
It's definitely great to witness as the offense has been on ever since the All-Star game. So the 7th win in a row for this Miners ball club, and it has been a beauty. It's been great to watch this ball club. This team scoring a lot of runs in the 4 games. So with that being said, we will send things into our post-game show sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. Myself will be with the skipper Ben Taylor, and Dan Collins will be with.
We'll make it a surprise.
It'll be a surprise pick. Why not? We'll keep you all guessing for a little bit, but we'll all be right back here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. guys.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, that's why the thing's up there to keep guys, to keep things manageable and keep guys playing for things. And, things are good right now.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much for
Thanks,
your
man.
time. Congratulations on the 12-1 victory. An off day tomorrow, but the Miners right back here again. Game 2 of the 9-game homestand coming up. So it's definitely going to feel good. And we will be back as I'm going to be joined by Dan Collins on your Matthew Miners Radio Network.